Hey, welcome to Worthy Wednesday. I'm your host, Corey, and I'm happy to see you. Y'all, tonight I was in a play at my high school. It was called Check Please, and it was really cute. It was talking about all these different first blind dates that you go on, and they had uh, the theater troupe had invited several teachers to be in these horrible first blind dates. And so tonight I got to participate in that, and it was absolutely wonderful. But it was also at 6 o'clock, which it didn't dawn on me until today that it was Wednesday. And I was like, oh, okay. So anyway, I wanted to come on because there are some things that I have been learning and thinking about since the last time we've spoken about miracles and why they are so important. And then we talked about support and what happens when people support you or you support other people. But tonight, just briefly, I feel like I want to do a follow up to this, but I just want to drop this while it's still fresh within me about what life is really about. And the question I want to ask you tonight, worthy women, is are you available to become a miracle? I think something that is sometimes overlooked and 100% left unsaid is what happens when people become willing, open, available to become a miracle for someone else. Now, obviously, we know that miracles require divine intervention, and we will never, ever, I personally will never, ever stray away from you understanding that it's God alone who brings, delivers, and does miracles. Only Him, right? But I also know that part of the miracle working power of this same God is using people on earth to become miracles for other people who have been looking or searching for a miracle because of what's happening in their regular life. And we just call that life, just in case y'all were wondering. We're just talking about life in reallife.com. But I wonder what it would be like if you were to become available to other people to become a miracle. What would it take for you to recognize that your life too has a purpose, that your pain, although we might not be able to understand it, that inconvenience, that circumstance, that moment where you were being sharpened by a particular instance that causes you to take a step back and look into the mirror and really figure out, am I what these people are saying? Is my personality, is my behavior, is my tone or my demeanor, is it exactly what could be happening? I really began to wonder what would happen if we became available. And there are several things that I thought about, but there's just one in particular that I feel is pertinent to mention. In order to become available, you have to be willing. You have to choose that you want to be available to help, assist, or become what someone else needs. It's a choice. Worthy women, it is something that you and I have the power to determine. I can't determine the miracle, obviously, because that's not my lane, but I can determine if I want to be available to help deliver a miracle to someone else or to become the miracle that that person might need. And you might be thinking, well, Corey, how in the world do you become a miracle? Well, sometimes that could be in the form of giving somebody gas money, giving somebody a ride, bringing groceries to their house, making sure their kids get picked up from school. See, we're looking for grandiose. Okay, maybe y'all aren't, okay? But most people that are expecting or thinking about miracles are looking for grandiose things so they can say, oh, I helped so-and-so do all of this. It was because of me that all this happened. And it makes me think of a story in the Bible. It's about King Nebuchadnezzar. I'll put the link in the chat where you can go read about him. And he was a great king, really smart, really wise. And he built these storage units to take care of his country during the famine. And he was pretty rich, right? He was rich. He was rich. And he was walking amongst his palace, and he said to himself, look at the things that my hand has built. Look at this kingdom that I have built. Look at the things that I have been able to acquire. And at that particular time, God reminded him, hey, bro, you ain't got nothing to do with this. All this crap that you got, it's because of me. All this prestige, all of this clout, all of this power, all this land, it's me. This has nothing to do with you, right? He was like, so don't say that no more. Like, remember, I gave you this position. I will remove it if you forget who's in charge of it. And this is what I mean. Are you available? Can you choose to become a miracle. Anyway, the story goes on to say, I'm going to link it so y'all can read it tonight and tomorrow, just the rest of your life, because you'll never forget this. King Nebuchadnezzar, first of all, what kind of name is that? Anyway, so many, many years go by. I mean, like a lot of years go by. Several seasons go by. And eventually the king has a memory lapse, you know, kind of like how we do when things have gone so well and so many miracles have occurred and so many great things have happened in life, success after success after success, and good relationship, good money, good, all these things. You know, it's kind of like he did what we do. When something starts working well, we forget what it's like when we have to be available, we have to surrender, we have to commit, we have to choose, we have to be faithful, we have to remain obedient. Like, we don't think about these things when our life is doing exactly what we wanted to do. So King Nebuchadnezzar is no stranger, and he forgot what the Lord told him, which was like, hey bro, don't ever say that this stuff is because of you. So anyway, he did do that. He forgot. I mean, I'm guilty of those things. He forgot who he was. He forgot where all of these things had come from. And anyway, the story goes on to say that when he did that, he became as a beast in the field. His hands grew out into claws, and he got a hunchback, and, you know, the dew was on his skin and all this stuff. Like, he literally became a beast of the field, like real life, like some sci-fi stuff that you see on TV. That really happened. Okay. And he was like that for a few minutes, okay? So much so that the kingdom was shook, basically. Nobody took over as king. Everybody just kind of lamented and talked to God like, hey, Lord, we don't know what he did, but what you want us to do. So can you imagine all that time that he was a beast? King Nebuchadnezzar probably thought, oh, I wasn't available. I forgot because I limited my availability. Because see, what happens is when my life is going well and I can recognize and see miracles every single day because it's working well for me, I tend to forget that I always need to be available in order for those things to occur and continue to sow seeds, you know, because miracles require time, seed, time, and harvest, right? I keep forgetting that I have to become a seed for someone else, because as the time goes by, Nebuchadnezzar, then the harvest hit, which he had to become a beast of the field. And I literally thought when I first read this story, I was like, is this true? Like, he became a beast of the field? History will confirm it, just in case you're wondering. They can go and tell you. You're going to be like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so he was like that for some seasons, okay? And then after time had passed, I don't remember. I want to say it was 7 years, but it could have been a little bit longer or less. But anyway, after a certain amount of time, the Lord restored King Nebuchadnezzar to himself. Literally, he became a man again, and he went back to the throne like he was supposed to, and he was in his right mind, and he got his whole life together. He became available to become miracles for his people in the kingdom and those that needed help and assistance. And I want you to understand that it is not that King Nebuchadnezzar was restored. That's, who cares? What I want you to remember is that he made a choice to neglect what he had been instructed to do. And he chose to do the opposite of that. And I wonder if we are selfish, and maybe not you, but I wonder if there have been times that I have been selfish, because my choice at that time was not to help someone else, was not to sow into someone else, was not to be the watering of someone else, but it was really just me. I want what I want. I want this to benefit me, not y'all. I want this for me. I wonder, have I made choices that have delayed miracles for other people, that God specifically wanted me to be that person, to be available for a word of encouragement, for some butter, for some sugar, for some water, for a pickup, for all these things that are practical. Like, see, we think that miracles are requiring us to do extraordinary things. No, we can't be extraordinary. Only he can be extraordinary. Y'all, I'm starting to realize that if I am ever going to say I have lived and seen and experienced everyday miracles, it's because I choose to become available for someone else. Because when I choose to become available, to become a miracle, I start seeing miracles more. Y'all, can you imagine, like, you literally were a beast in the field. Nobody ruled the kingdom because everyone was scared out of their pantalones. And then you go back to being your regular self, and people still are scared out of their pantalones. And you had to tell them, hey, I made the wrong choice, don't do that. How easy is that, though? How easy is it for us to admit I made the wrong choice? It's super hard. I'm just telling you, it's super hard for people. And we need to be the kind of worthy women that say, I made the wrong choice and now I need to choose what's right. Choose to be kind. Choose to be loving. Choose to not be selfish. Choose to not gossip. Choose to not be bitter. Choose to not be angry. You guys, how can I become a miracle for someone else if I don't choose? I need to choose. I need to become out of myself. Like, I need to stop thinking that the world revolves around me, because it doesn't. But it does revolve, but not around me. And I need to be available to be what somebody else needs to see, so they can say, today, I had a miracle. Worthy women, anyway. I love y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me late tonight. I'll see you next week.